Real Country 1430 AM and 107.3 FM WRDN. Brian Winnekins at World Dairy Expo. Thank you to our broadcast sponsors, including Wisconsin Farmers Union, Annabis Silo, the Animal Wellness Center of Buffalo Valley, Dairy Farmers of Wisconsin, and UtterTech. I'm with Steve Maddox. Not only is with DMI, but he is the Dairyman of the Year here at World Dairy Expo, and he's from California. We need to do something about that, Wisconsin. But Steve, congratulations again. I got to give you a hard time.
Thanks, Brian. I tell you what, it's always enjoyable coming to World Dairy Expo because you get off the plane here and it's obviously I'm in a different atmosphere in California. At least the state government here supports farming, supports dairy farmers, and I've got a lot of good friends here. World Dairy Expo has something for everyone, and great cows, great people, and I feel like I've come home.
And by the way, Wisconsin cows are always happier than California cows. Regardless of the government situation there, we don't have wildfires. We don't have earthquakes, tsunamis. I guess the potential of, we have cougars or mountain lions or pumas, but not to the extent you guys. So we do have some wolves issues, but we don't have all of those problems you have.
Well, we do. We don't have as much problems during deer hunting season getting help.
Well, that is a state holiday. I guess tell us your reaction when you found out you were named Dairyman of the Year. I mean, were you totally taken by surprise?
Kind of a disbelief. I was humbled and honored, obviously, but I said, "Am I that old?" I'm active in it because I have great employees and great family support at home, and it's nice to be honored by your peers like this, but it's unexpected. And truly humbled.
Tell us a little bit about the home farm.
Well, the home farm is fairly large. We have the dairy farm is 3,900 head of cows milking and dry wet cows, about 3,300 head, 4,000 head of heifers, and about 1,200 bulls right now. Everything's registered. We're probably the largest registered herd in North America, if not the world, or one of them. We have an embryo transfer facility. We sell genetics around the world, whether it's bull semen or embryos, IVF embryos. We used to sell a lot of live cattle around the world until the airline rates went up. But, that's that part of it. But we also have a large farm around us. We try to grow all of our own roughages, our hays, our silages for the cows. In addition to that, our diversification is wine grapes. When we bought the farm where I'm at, so we have 2,000 acres of wine grapes, and we've got about 1,500 acres of almonds that we planted when it was time to transition some family estate planning, and there's some family members that wanted to leave, and so we brought that cash flow into diversity. But basically, the almonds and wine grapes pay for my hobby of dairying.
Now, I got to ask, are the almonds going to milk beverages?
Unfortunately, some of the cracks and some of the damaged ones get pasteurized and get moved into the nut juice. And but there's a great product now with a blend with milk being flavored with almonds instead. But you can add sugar to anything and make it taste good.
I just like the roasted almonds with salt or almonds with my Hershey bar. I'm just saying. I can't beat that.
Well, I like the chocolate-covered almonds, too, just much like you do, and they're fun to eat, but I don't necessarily want to drink them because they don't give me anything. They only have less than 1% of protein, and I just stay with a great nutrient value that coming in with a nice glass of whole milk, or better yet, whole chocolate milk.
There you go. We're talking with Steve Maddox. He's Dairyman of the Year here at World Dairy Expo. We'll transmit. You're still on the DMI board, but I know new appointments will be coming up soon. Are you looking to stay on, or do you want to let somebody else come in?
Well, I tell you what. If the secretary determines there's someone better for my spot, have at it. I mean, I've got a lot of other things going on, but I'm committed to what we're doing on the National Dairy Board. Anywhere from the environmental sustainability issues to the cow care issues to the working with the partners, Fuel to Play 60, working with the schools, teaching kids that great nutrition can be simple if your basis in dairy products. And so we got a pretty widespread support staff on everything that the industry is doing. Also, crisis management, because we're getting attacked on a lot of sides by groups that aren't necessarily friendly to the dairy farmers.
I know that there's some in the dairy industry that are very concerned about. There were recent stories about some of the salaries of some of the heads of DMI and they're like, for our checkoff money, we're still seeing low milk prices and fluid dairy products. The consumption's been going down. Is this worth doing? And that is, I think, something that dairy farmers want to know. What is DMI doing to try and increase that milk consumption and to try and help with those milk prices, because it has led to some pretty big issues in dairy country?
Well, it's rightful to be transparent with what we're doing and all that. They're going off the 990 forms that came out of the 2009 fixed legislation back in the day, Dodd-Frank stuff. That I think some of that was misguided, but that well, the numbers they're stipulating is not just the salary, but it's also some retirement deferred income, some non-cash things. And also they cherry-picked the years that we converted from a defined benefit program on retirement to a defined contribution, which saved us millions of dollars every year on that. But we had to balloon it up to buy it out according to actuarials and government support. So, and that was my fourth company we transitioned out. It was fiscally the smart way to going. So that was disappointing. The thing that they don't recognize is that when we put DMI or put the National Dairy Board together in 1984, we sold 120 million billion pounds of milk equivalent. We sold that. We're now selling 220 billion pounds of milk a year. We gauge our success at DMI based on our increase in milk consumption, which was over 2% last year. Our minimum to be successful is at least to match up with the increase in milk production, which was 0.7%. So we had a successful year on that. The difficulty was that our overproduction versus plant capacity was at the wrong spot. It was right around Chicago. The emotions of the market on CME exchange pushed it down. Also, you had some world stocks problems export-wise. A third of California's milk production is exported, west instead of east, which is good because if it comes east, it competes and we have a different problem. So that was some of the basis on that, and it's unfortunate. For lack of one more powder plant in Michigan, we probably wouldn't have had the decrease. Most of the decrease in Wisconsin, they talk about those articles that you're bringing up. We're talking about the drop in fluid milk. Yeah, fluid milk consumption is sad. It's down. We've put in millions and millions of dollars into trying to reinvigorate that category that we've basically made into a commodity, and it's our highest price class. But in Wisconsin, it's less than 8%. Cheese, which we're really going great guns, cheese consumption's up over 3% this year. That should be the bigger story. But I guess these people that they're complaining want us to convert from cheese promotion back to fluid milk. But it's tough. In California, the main decrease in milk production, the millennials, the young generation, is actually the milk fluid drinking is up. It's the baby boomers like me that are not drinking the milk. That's the biggest category down. And California normally leads the nation for the decrease in fluid milk consumption.
You mentioned that with the millennials, that increase in fluid milk consumption. We've also had from USDA and the dietary studies are going, oh, hey, whole milk isn't this evil, nasty thing. And then we found out more studies that for athletes, you want to recharge, chocolate milk. Now, most of the chocolate milk still is 2%. Okay. Does it give dairy farmers and DMI some hope here that, hey, we have some things we can hang our hat on to increase fluid milk consumption, and how will DMI take advantage of that?
Well, obviously, you use information like that as your base, and you always try to improve on top of that, and we're making some major inroads, particularly with taking those athletes that use it, going into schools, going into universities, and we've done fairly well getting the chocolate and flavored milk into almost every weight room for every major university. And those athletes, after they do their workouts and the weights, are required to drink a certain amount of milk, as long as it's they don't have a aversion to lactose, but because there's no quicker recovery drink than chocolate milk. And I don't care whether you're talking about Gatorade or any other recovery drink. And so you're using all the benefits and go with the flow on that, and then you're trying to supercharge it and pop it up and make those advantages. We're also doing a lot of studies on the whey proteins and that taking the waste stream that also feeds into the cheese price, and you're trying to get those micronutrients into more and more products, and we're having fairly good results with that.
That is some exciting news. Well, again, Steve, congratulations on being named Dairyman of the Year. Wisconsin will get it back from you, California people. I know. We're up for the challenge, but congratulations.
Yeah, I thought there was a quote on California dairy farmers getting honored here, but no, I really appreciate it. And like I said, it feels like coming home, and I've got a lot of good friends here. And thank you, Brian. It's always a pleasure.
Steve Maddox, he's the Dairyman of the Year from California. He's also with DMI from World Dairy Expo. I'm Brian Winnikins on WRDN.